Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're still out here today playing the back nine at Paako Ridge Golf Club in Sandia Park, New Mexico. Just one of the most beautiful courses I've ever seen. I mean, this place is just amazing, and arguably, and so rated, this course might just be the number one course in the whole state of New Mexico. So, quite a privilege to get to come out here and play and film it. Very cool. So the front nine, we got away with a couple of great shots there. And, had that double bogey on the par 3. Ended up 4 over, so not too shabby, being as it is that this course is, certainly very difficult. That's for sure. So this 10th hole here, kind of a hard dogleg left. Or at least that's the way it's going to appear to you off the tee box. So, but although it's kind of an intimidating view up onto the fairway from the tee box, the hole actually does open up a little bit to the right for kind of the middle sort of landing area there. Probably not driver length landing area for most people, probably like a long iron, maybe a fairway metal or hybrid, something like that. But, anyway, there is kind of a widening there. However, if you do aim for that in order to land there, then you're going to have a pretty long shot up onto this green. So definitely a draw is the preferred shape here, I would say, to try to get down to the end of the first fairway there. And there is kind of a gully, kind of a dried out like desert gully that's about 4/5 of the way down the hole that sort of separates the main fairway from this little tiny fairway segment, and then the green. That'll be a little bit uphill from the landing area. And then 3 bunkers off to the right and kind of front right of the green is all that provides guardianship for the green there. And then, of course, you've got pretty heavy tree line all the way up the hole to the left. So you definitely don't want to miss too hard to the left, that's for sure. So, that's pretty much the hole, driver in hand, just because I don't know really what else to play. So, because I'm looking out there, I'm like, all right, let's just pop one out there. But, in hindsight, I probably should have smoked like a 2-iron out there. That would have been a much safer play for me. And again, if you're liking this content, then smash that like button and that subscribe button. We'd love to see you back for some more content later. And every 100 subscribers, I give away a branded Bills hat. So, less than 50 subs now for me to give away another hat. So smash that subscribe button. Help us get there. And once we get to 1,000, I'm going to up the ante to some cooler wardrobe, like shirts or vests or rain jackets, something like that. And then after that, once we get to 10,000, I think I'm going to give away golf bags. And those are going to be some high-quality bags, too, if we get there. So help us get there to that 1,000 mark and then that 10,000 mark subscriber number, and I'll keep giving away cooler stuff. All right, so anyway, without further ado, let's give it a rip with this big old D-stick and see what we can do on this beautiful and intimidating 10th hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 11th hole. And what they say is the second hardest course or hole on this course. So, looking at it for me from the two up tee boxes here, I'm like, you know what? I didn't think this hole was all that bad at 370 yards there. But if I was tipping it out at 453 way back there, then yeah, this would certainly be a difficult hole. That's for sure. So, yeah, for the tip measurement, yeah, I definitely got to hand it to this hole, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah, this entire course is difficult from the tips. But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, the hole itself here, so kind of a squiggly hole here, playing straight out for a little while out into the fairway, and then kind of curving to the left. And as you make your way to the green, it'll curve slightly just back to the right. So anyway, apart from that, see here, so you've got kind of some opening in the trees off to the right, and definitely a lot more denser of trees off to the left. And you've got that fairway bunker there off to the left too, just barely at the turn where it kind of doglegs and curves to the left a bit. So yeah, I mean, for the safe play off the tee box, I would have to say that the right side is the good side miss. However, if you are hitting a pretty draw and you've got that in the bag on the day, then taking kind of the middle right line of the fairway, or all the way out to the kind of the far right line of the fairway, and then drawing it back from there would be a marvelous play on this hole, that's for sure. So for me, I'm just going straight over that fairway bunker right in front of us there, and yeah, just punching it up there, hitting a little cut off of that, and that should give me a pretty easy shot up onto this green here. So once you do make your way up to the green there's two small bunkers there off to the left of the green, kind of front of the green and to the left. One of them's more fairway than it is green side. And then there's a sizable bunker over there off to the right. So, without further ado, let's give it a rip and see what we can do on this magnificent hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 12th hole and the first par 5 of our back 9 here. And, to mention something about the last hole there, I was looking at the overhead map here at all the tee boxes, and I got to admit, I think I accidentally played the wrong tees on that hole. I think I actually played it from all the way at the forwards, which happened to be turquoise, so I just must have, I think I missed them up with the between the greens that I was supposed to be playing. So I think I actually played that all the way up at 265 because I was like, did I really bust a 370-yard drive there getting up greenside? I was like, I don't think so. It's like, I don't think I hit that drive that far. It was kind of a floated drive out there. So anyway, apologies for that. But yeah, that was just honest mistake. So this hole, though, I'm definitely playing from the correct tee boxes. So yeah, 499 yards for me, and 545 from the tips. So yeah, beautiful par 5 here. Looking out at the fairway, I mean how it kind of squiggles back and forth all the way up. I mean it's a generally straight hole, but it's just relatively narrow. So yeah, I mean you really want to pick your poison here. But that said, there's really nothing blocking you from hitting any shape that you want. So, I mean, me hitting cuts, I'm just going to take that left line over there off towards that bunker, that first bunker that you can see off to the left, and then I'm just going to fade it back in from there. So, not a big deal. Let's see here. Apart from that, though, there's all kinds of bunker trouble on this hole. Of course, you can see the couple over there short right, and then the one that I'm aiming at over there kind of mid left. And then once you get up to the green, there's going to be 2 more short left of the green and 3 more short right of the green. And one of them kind of crawls up and is actually more of a green side bunker off to the right there. So, yeah, that's pretty much what you're working with. And after the drive, which is largely downhill, then you're going to kind of be creeping uphill the rest of the way through the hole. So be mindful of that. It's going to kind of add some, apparent yardage to the hole as well. So, without further ado, driver in hand, like I said before, aiming at that left bunker, cutting it off that. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 13th hole. And kind of a short par 4 here for us, 340 yards for me, and 386 from the tips. So, yeah, but I mean, where it lacks in distance, it kind of makes up for in the need for precision. So, yeah, I mean, looking straight out, I mean, it's a short sort of drive until you're going to hit that dog leg that will take you off to the right thereafter. And the fairway really narrows up after the dog leg. So, I mean, if you're hitting a nice, pretty sort of, I'd say 15-yard cut, and you can dependably sort of hit that off probably the couple of dark trees there off to the left that are kind of lateral with the bunker that you can see off to the right, right side of the fairway, that is, then that would probably be a great shot to hit that corner and kind of, bring it up there close to just a flip wedge away from the green. A draw shape on this hole would probably be pretty nerve-wracking, since you're probably going to have to be aimed straight out of bounds over there off to the right into all those really thick trees and then pull it back from there. So yeah, I mean, if you've really got a dependable draw that you're working with, then it could be a good shot. But yeah, I mean, you're probably going to end up with more distance up onto the green than you would have if you would have just hit a cut. So, but anyway, but you could do it. You could do it. I'm not saying you couldn't. So once you get up to the green there, you've got a couple of bunkers sort of on either side of the green and to the front of them. And then right in the middle of this sort of figure eight shaped green. You've got a couple of small bunkers off to each side as well, one left, one right. So yeah, that's what you're dealing with here. And then yeah, if I had to choose, gosh, I don't know. If you're not great at getting out of bunkers, probably that back left one would be the ideal one. But if you are good at getting out of bunkers, and you can make it kind of stop with a high bunker shot, then I'd actually say probably the right ones would be more favorable for you to be in. So yeah, it kind of depends on what kind of bunker you're playing in, or what kind of bunker player you are, so, as to which bunker would be more favorable for you to be in. Because the left ones are high and the right ones are low. So anyway, pick your poison there. So what am I doing? I'm taking the driver out here, and I'm doing exactly what I said before, just aiming at kind of those couple of trees over there off to the left that are lateral with that first bunker, and the only bunker that's really a fairway side bunker. And then I'm just going to cut it back from there. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 14th hole and the first par 3 of our back 9 here. And quite a lengthy one at that. Playing for me at 224 yards and tipping out at 271 yards. I mean, that's just insane, dude. 271? Goodness gracious. I mean, on a day, I might have to hit driver to get that. Jeez Louise, that's just nuts, dude. I mean, okay, it's playing downhill a bit, and it's probably like a 15, 20-yard drop. So, yeah, I mean, maybe playing 250, but still, that's disgusting. Like, that's some crazy business right there. But nevertheless, quite a beautiful par 3 up here. So, anyway, you've got a little bit of forced clearance there right off the tee box, and that's going to follow the hole up the left side. And then... yeah, most of the hole plays off to the right side so far as the green grass is concerned, but then kind of too far off to the right will be the cart path, followed by some more desert terrain up there with a bunch of trees in it. So, I mean, definitely the left will favor your ability to find the ball if you miss that, but I mean, honestly, with most of the hole playing out there off to the right, I doubt that for whatever club you're going to be playing that you're going to carve it that far off to the right. And you've got a couple of bunkers over there to catch your ball if you just kind of barely float one out there. So, yeah, not a big deal. Yeah, I'm saying the right is the good side miss here. And then if you do happen to get lateral with the green and get a little hooky on it, then you've got another sizable bunker to catch your ball over there, green side to the left as well. Now, just like the last par 3, the green here is actually pretty sizable. So you've got a lot of putting surface to play with, so that's nice, since you're going to be hitting kind of a lengthy club in order to get there. But yeah, anyway, like I said, most of the grass is over there off to the right side. So yeah, I'm saying a cut is probably the way, unless you're gonna just aim kind of way right and then pull it in from there with the draw. So 224. What have I got in hand? A 6-iron. So just like I did on the last hole. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 15th hole in our final par 5 of the day here. So playing for me at 582 yards and tipping out at 640 yards. Quite the healthy par 5 indeed. And, I mean, looking at the hole, it's kind of a double dog leg right here. You've got kind of a dog leg right in front of you, short off the drive there. And certainly plenty of corner that you can cut going there off the tee box. So the fairway, although it looks intimidating off the tee box there, it widens up quite a bit the further down you go. So if you just hit a big old cut off of there and just take that left line, then you're probably going to be a-okay. So anyway, if you've got nothing in the bag but a draw shape, then yeah, I would take the cart path line over there, or maybe the rough line off to the right, and then try to stabilize that draw and sort of play it gently out there, because it's going to be another dog leg right thereafter. So I don't see any way that you could really get home in 2 on this hole, because I mean, unless you've got like a 450 yard drive in you, then your second shot is going to be blocked by the hilly tree off to the right in order to try to get on the green anyway. And I mean, if you did try to pull off some kind of hero cut out of the fairway for your second shot in order to get on the green, well, it would be a exceptionally hero cut indeed, because you've got a lake that goes all the way behind the hole there and creeps up kind of to the left of the hole, just about, or the left of the green, I should say, about halfway down the green. And then right before that, you've got a pretty sizable bunker that crawls the rest of the way up the left side of the green back to the front. And then off to the right side, you've got a guardian bunker just off to the front right side as well. So I mean, for most players out there, unless you're an absolute monster and a really precise one at that, you're probably three-piecing this hole no matter how you shake it. So, honestly, if you wanted to, you could probably take like a 5-iron, maybe a 4-iron off the tee box here and just pump it out there to where you can see it out in the fairway, and then probably hit that same club again to get the rest of the way down the fairway and give yourself about a 100-yard shot up onto the screen for your third shot. That's probably the best way to play it. Now that I'm kind of mapping it out, looking at the overhead view here. So anyway, I'm not going to take my own advice because I have no idea what this hole does as I'm standing on the tee box there. All I know is it goes to the right. So I'm like, oh, happy days for me since I'm cutting everything. So I'm just kind of aiming out towards the middle left line there of the fairway and then fading it back over from there. So, and I'm going to try to cut a bit of that corner there just because, so far as I'm concerned, that hole will likely kind of open up there past the trees and then just go straight out because I didn't even look at a map of the hole before. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 16th hole and the final par 3 of our day here. And a really pretty one it is. So, yeah, playing, well, for the tee boxes I should have been playing, that would have been 154 yards, easy day, and downhill at that. And the tips are 230. But this one I actually played from the forward tees intentionally because I was getting waved through by the group ahead of me there. And I just kind of wanted to hustle up and sort of, hit the ball and get out of their way. So anyway, I was like, okay, you know what, to heck with it. I'm just going to hit from the forwards here just so I can, rush through this hole here and get get ahead of the fine young men in front of me who let me play through. So anyway, that's why I'm up here. So, but anyway, 154 shot downhill would have been playing for me probably about a $140 gap wedge. I mean, I love hitting my gap wedge, so it would have been an easy shot for me anyway. So, matter of fact, I probably would have liked to have been playing it from a little further back, if I'm being honest, because then I could have hit it even higher in the air and dropped it down on that green even harder. So that would have been cool. But anyway, whatever. Here I am playing it from about a $1.04 out, something like that, from the forwards. So anyway, and kind of rushing through this hole. But what do you got for trouble? Obviously, the lake right in front of you. You got to clear most of it to get up on that green. And if you're playing from the further back tee boxes, then it'll be more right in front of you than than it is from the tee box that I'm playing here. And then of course you've got those 3 bunkers there off to the left, or to the right, I mean. So one of them kind of in front right of the green, and then 2 of them kind of back right. So, but from your perspective on the tee box, actually they're going to look like more like they're behind the green, and then kind of off to the right side of the green for the one that's kind of front of it. So anyway, I've got the I think I got the 60 degree in hand? Yeah, I think I'm hitting a 60 degree wedge at this. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 17th hole. Just a nice, kind of lengthy par 4 here. 393 yards for me and 421 from the tip, so fairly healthy, yeah. But it's downhill most of the way, so probably playing more like 370, something like that for me. Maybe 390 or so from the tips there, so yeah. Not all that long considering the elevation change that you've got to work with here. That said, it is a pretty tight par 4 yet again here. So, yeah, I mean, narrow fairway and kind of an undulating one at that, with some trees off to the right side that encroach their way out into the fairway, and a nice strategically placed collection of bunkers there. You've got 2 kind of sizable fairway bunkers there off to the right. And then as you crawl your way up to the green, you've got one kind of short left and one, just dead in front and kind of to the right of the green as kind of the only real true green side bunker. So anyway, the shape of the hole kind of slanting from right to left there. I'm feeling real good about my cut here. So I'm just kind of going to aim at that bunker over there off to the left. So the left fairway bunker, and then I'm going to try to cut it off that. So anyway, yeah, no big deal. So a little floater out there, just trying to keep it controlled and keep it in play. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to this absolutely gorgeous finishing hole here, number 18. So 433 yard par 4 for me, tipping out at 474. So very healthy one indeed, but I mean, you've got a lot of elevation change here right off the tee box, so yeah, pretty far downhill, so that's nice. That said, though, the fairway will run out on you if you really smoke one down there, and kind of get cut off about 3/4 of the way through the hole or so, and with a little kind of desert valley, and then it picks back up again, kind of, I don't know, about 120 yards short of the green, and on, the rest of the way in there. So anyway, a controlled drive is definitely preferred here, that's for sure. And if you've got a draw in your repertoire that day that you happen to be here, that's definitely what you're going to want to play. I would pick the 2 fairway bunkers out there to the right as your line, and then draw it back from there, and that should give you a magnificent angle up onto this green to kind of be able to have a thread the needle sort of view, between the greenside bunkers, of which there are 2 off to the left, kind of one sizable one front left, and then one small one lateral left, and then one kind of oblong shaped bunker, it's pretty sizable, over there off to the front right of the green. So anyway, I'm kind of going just left of those that collection of trees that you can see. I mean, I'm basically aiming at the fairway to the left there, and if it cuts over, then happy days, right? Then that's grand. And if I do get a little draw spin on it, then that's really grand. So that should really put me in a great position there. So yeah, probably my best drive of the day, or at least one of them, coming right up here. So enjoy this last hole. And once again, if you're liking this content out here, or with us at Midgard Golf, I should say, then smash that like and subscribe button. We'd love to see you back. And hope you guys enjoyed this final hole out here at this beautiful course at Paako Ridge in Sandia Park, New Mexico. And until next time, as always, have a marvelous day. Great last drive.